So what would you say? What are the mistakes that people often make when it comes to
mistakes? So I agree with you. So look, we do paid ads, and how I got into it is because people asked me. So because I grew my wife's business and we got featured on Evening Standard and whatever, and people were like, oh, you do ads, like whatever. So we're good at it, and that's what makes us money. But I'm always honest to clients because I'm like, I want you to stay in business a long time because we're a retainer business. So if you spend all your money, you run out of business next month, we've lost one client.
Yeah.
The biggest mistake people make is they'll come to us and be like, okay, cool, we want to grow really quickly. The problem with e-commerce, it's a weird phenomenon, or ads in general, it's a weird phenomenon. So you guys are businessmen, right? You know about economies of scale. The more things you buy, you get it cheaper. That works in most things in life, but it doesn't work on ads. So the more money you spend, actually you make less.
Okay.
Because it gets to a point where Facebook starts to charge you more to reach more people.
Okay.
So a lot of brands come to us to be like, okay, cool, man. Let's say they give me, I don't know, 10 grand to spend on ads. I'm spending it, I spend 10 grand, we make them 30K. So they're like, oh, for £1 we get 3, yeah? Cool. Why don't we double it? The moment you double it, now you're making 50. So the margin starts to drop. The reason why that happens is because Facebook, you gotta realize it's still a social media platform. You can't force your ads too much on people because they don't want people just to keep seeing ads as much as it makes them money. So the biggest mistake people make is scaling too quickly. And also that's just on the ad side of things. So you're less efficient. You're getting less return on your ads, yeah. Okay. But on the back end with e-commerce, what people don't understand is when businesses start doing millions of pounds, a lot of things start to break because now you got shipping, like cost increases. You now got to hire more staff. You're creating demand so fast that maybe your operations in the back end isn't ready for it. So my thing with it is like when a lot of people come to us, we try to educate them and say actually growing slower is better. Okay. And to your point, if you don't have a mailing list, like for example, if Facebook blocks your, because they can also ban your ad account. For example, if you're advertising the wrong thing. So it's like if you don't have a mailing list, then you're done. Right? So part of it is also like make sure you build a profile where you've got your customers, but also if you couldn't run ads, people are still logging into on socials to check you out.
In 2024, what do you think is stronger, a mailing list or a text list? Because some companies,
that's a good point.
I would say I get the text list and I pay attention to it more than
I would say if you're an American, if you're selling in America, then text, because Americans actually use text like it's normal.
There was an iMessage,
bro. Like even we had clients where they just wanted to talk through text. That for them, iMessage is like it's normal, and people actually buy from iMessage. UK were a bit more conservative. Like I think personally, I find it intrusive when a brand messages me. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Do you say it's unprofessional? A text message or WhatsApp message? Less
unprofessional, but more just like this is a safe space where I speak to my family. Like only my brethren and my family really should text. It feels more too personal. Like I don't think there's a brand out there that I personally will feel comfortable getting a text from. And
what do you think, Wes, about businesses sending text messages?
Yeah, I feel like it's too personal because there's layers to it. Unless it was like potentially a personal brand where you've got some sort of relationship with the creator or something.
So do you mind when a restaurant sends you a text reminder?
Yeah, that's spam. I would look at it as spam.
But don't you think?
Oh, look, if it's a booking reminder, that see, I see that as a service message. Okay. For example, I booked somewhere and you say, yeah, man, it's just to confirm the booking's at 8. Don't be late, kind of thing. I'm like, okay, that's a service.
But they're not selling to you.
You're not selling to. If you text me to be like 2 for 1 on Friday, then I'm like, you know what I mean?
But don't you think like?
But that's me personally.
With the amount of emails we receive from brands, like let's say like now you might open your email, Nike 30% off at this, then Selfridges, we've got a sale coming, then blah blah blah. You tend to just
The good thing, to the point though, text has a better open rate. Yeah. Because there's not a lot of competition. Whereas like email, like you said, there's better competition. If Nike emails me, this person emails me, like the open rates are much lower. Yeah. But text, obviously, somebody's more likely to open it. The reality is that they're also more likely to opt out. Yeah. Because some people see it as intrusive. But like I said, in America, our clients text, SMS just smashes it. It's just they've just got a more consumer culture. Like they're just ready to buy, like offers, and it's crazy. Like so, most of the brands we've worked with that we've taken to like multiple 7 figures, we had to go to America. So to your point, it's like the UK is not big enough for a brand that is specifically targeting black owned. I believe you can hit 7 figures just targeting the UK. Like we've got brands that have done 7 figures just targeting UK customers. But if you want to do multiple 7 figures, if you're a black brand, you have to go States because they're just a
lot
bigger
of these
population.
brands start off as drop shipping brands, or they started off as straight, fully labeled.
So majority of our brands have started off fully labeled, but it was almost like what happened in 2020 was major key. So I started my business 2019. So I left my job 2019 October, and I always say if I waited 6 months I would have never left because COVID happened. Like the safety of being in a corporate job was much better than me taking this leap of faith. But it was perfect timing for me because by working with only black brands, the packs of this world had to close. So where was everyone going to get their hair products? They're going to get it online. People are at home, everybody's on furlough, people have more money. And in fact, how some of the brands we work with grew was through Shade Bar.
Okay.
Yeah, so they're running ads on Shade Bar. Because you got to remember, Shade Bar and all of these cultural platforms, before 2020, most of the ads they were doing for would be like for music, like artists. Artists would drop a mixtape and they'd be like advertising, whatever. But what happened in 2020 is everyone was online. Like, I didn't follow Shade Bar, but I was following Shade Bar. Does that make sense? Like, you check for it. You may not follow it, but you were checking for it. I remember even my missus one time was telling me, oh, we're going into lockdown. And I was like, oh, wait, where did you hear that? I thought, like, she saw on BBC. She's like, no, I saw on Shade Bar. My missus, I was like, when did you start following Shade Bar? So there was a great opportunity at that point where not just the culture, everybody was at home. Everybody's on social. So if you advertise on any of those platforms, you reached more people. You know what I'm saying? So that's why a lot of those brands, even though they were planning to start small, they were able to grow really cheaply because those platforms they weren't charging a lot. Them times are probably a few bills. So imagine you spend 2 bills on an ad and you make 10 bags because everyone's at home. Packs closed. This black hair brand is selling hair product. Do you know what I mean? So obviously now the world's opened up again or whatever. But dropshipping is a good way to start. So I always advise people. The good thing about dropshipping is you can test the market with it because the way dropshipping works is I think someone else explained already in a previous episode where you sell the product, someone else fulfills it, so you don't even touch the stuff. The problem with dropshipping is the margins are tight. They're really small because the manufacturer and you've got to pay for ads and whatever. And what always happens is brands get to a point where when they start scaling, they make even less money. And I always say a joke like most people that are growing dropshipping during 2020 to like now. You're essentially working for 2 companies, Facebook and AliExpress.
Okay, because you've got to pay Facebook for your ads and then you've got to buy off.
So, but what you then should do, if you're smart, is figure out, okay, cool, how can I go direct to the manufacturer now? How can I find cost-effective channels? So like you said, for example, like build your mailing list so then you don't need to pay Facebook for it. And then, and then just get better terms with the manufacturer.
Now, you mentioned that in 2019 you left your job. Okay, now, There's 2 different ways people, well, there's more than 2 different ways, but when someone says they leave their job, there's an important question I always like to ask and say, did you leave your job completely, meaning that you wasn't doing part-time and started working on your business, or did you sever ties with your job completely and start running your marketing business?